Thank you. Thank you for everybody for being here. My name is Tony McCombie, and I'm in the 71st District, which is in Northwest Illinois. We're all here today to ask for your help. Help us advocate and push the passage of HB 4586. This bill would value the lives of our state employees within the Department of Children and Family Services, as well as Adult Protective Services. The same as we value the lives of our teachers and school employees, the same as state employees within the Department of Human Services, within the Department of Corrections, as our police officers, our firefighters, and our emergency responders. I am joined today by Pam Knight's husband, Don, her daughter, Jennifer, and two of her granddaughters, Caitlin Burns and Cheyenne Hollenbeck. We're also joined by our minority spokesperson of Jude Crim, Representative Brian Stewart. From Freeport, Representative Tom Demmer from Dixon, where Pam Knight lived. Representative Terry Bryant from Murfreesboro, a member of the Jude Crim Committee, and also a former Department of Corrections employee. We also are joined today by the Department of Aging Director Gene Bonoff, as well as the Director of DCFS, B.J. Walker. Today on the House floor, we passed H.R. 952, a resolution honoring the life of Pam and her sacrifice she made while protecting a defenseless 2-year-old from the monster that fathered him. Pam was attacked while the assailant was out on bond after being charged with a felony aggravated battery of a 6-year-old and a domestic violence against his girlfriend. After brutally attacking Pam and putting her in a coma, he was charged with an aggravated battery. The assailant could have been charged with a Class 2 felony, which carries a minimum of 2 years, but it's probation eligible. Unfortunately, we are often reactive in society, and this attack brought up several concerns about how the current law is written, as well as practices and procedures. Representative Stewart and I drafted 2 bills that later joined as HB 4586. HB 4586 would bring penalties in a line across our agencies for those that would dare attack our state workers. We all know and agree that this bill will not deter crimes, but it will keep people who are a clear and present danger out of our communities and bring some sense of justice to the victims and their families. Pam Knight is not the only DCFS worker to be viciously attacked in the recent years. The Chicago Tribune has outlined a dozen attacks. Each case has its own nuances, and each case can be prosecuted separately or differently. This legislation would take out the ambiguity when it comes to charges, and if you were to attack a DCFS worker or an adult protective service workers, you would face the same minimum 3-year as a teacher, the same 3-year minimum as a firefighter, and the same 3-year minimum as a parking enforcement officer, as what some people would consider, back in the day, meter maids. At this time, I would like to invite Representative Tom Demmer to the podium to give a short statement.
Thank you, Representative, and thank you first to the members of Pam's family who have joined us here today. As a representative from Dixon, where Pam lived, it was with a very heavy heart that myself, my neighbors, people across the Sauk Valley, and people across the state of Illinois watched as this tragedy unfolded over the course of several months. We're privileged to stand here together, shoulder to shoulder today, to call for support of House Bill 4586, which would send a strong message that attacks on people who are carrying out the work of the state of Illinois to help protect vulnerable children in the state of Illinois from situations in which they're in danger, that we stand with them and that we have no tolerance for those who commit violent acts against them. I'd like to also point out that over the course of the past week, we've seen some politics at play with this bill. If any bill should be above politics, it's this one we're discussing here today. This bill has more than 40 bipartisan co-sponsors. Yet last week we saw individuals be subbed into committee with the purpose of defeating the bill before it got to the House floor, where it has a clear bipartisan show of support. It's very important that we call attention to this. It's very important that we call attention to the merits of this bill and to the importance that this message would send to folks who work in DCFS all across the state of Illinois who help protect the children of our state. At this time, I'd like to bring up Representative Brian Stewart.
Good afternoon. Certainly a privilege to be here this afternoon in strong support of Don Knight and his family in regards to this legislation. I think my colleagues have already articulated the reasons that this is a good bill. It's a good bill to protect the children of Illinois. It's even a better bill to protect those DCFS investigators who every day put their lives on the line making sure that the children of this state are safe. It's my privilege this afternoon, though with a heartfelt sympathy, that's for sure, to introduce Don Knight to come up and to make a few remarks. Don.
We've spent 7 months with the loss of Pam, and I know that she would want us to pass this bill, and I'm asking for everybody's support to help pass this bill. And the ones that vote no on this bill, I would appreciate if they would send us a letter stating why they feel that this is not important for us to have in place. So please, I'm asking the public, and I'm asking the House to pass this bill. We need it, and we need it for Pam. Please do that.
Thanks, Don.
I'm asking that Bill H586 be reconsidered. Last week, the members of DCFS and Adult Protective Services were sent a message that their injuries and their lives maybe mattered less than those people that are already protected. So I'm asking, please go back and provide these workers with the dignity and respect that they deserve.
Not to correct my colleague, Representative Demmer, but we have 50 sponsors on this bill now, both sides of the aisle, like he stated. The General Assembly owes the people of Illinois to fix this legislation. It really is a no-brainer. We need to be putting our state employees and their families first. Last week, Pam's law being voted down by the majority with many other common sense bills that would protect and promote public safety is ridiculous. My ask of all of you today to reject the message, strongly reject the message that was sent last week. We need to advocate for Pam. We need to advocate for our state workers in DCFS and Adult Protective Services. We need to have her bill heard. She deserves it. Her family deserves it. And the people that are out in our field today deserve it. So please, please call your legislators and ask them to have this heard on the House and Senate floors for a vote. Thank you.